Welcome to Daily Scripture Reading. I do not own the rights to this music. John chapter 19, beginning at verse 16 and ending at verse 30. This is the Amplified Version, the crucifixion. Then he handed him over to them to be crucified. So they took Jesus and he went out, bearing his own cross, to the place called the place of the skull, which is called in Hebrew Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with him 2 others, one on either side, and Jesus between them. Pilate also wrote an inscription on a placard and put it on the cross, and it was written, Jesus the Nazarene, the King of the Jews. And many of the Jews read this inscription, for the place where Jesus was crucified was near the city, and it was written in Hebrew, in Latin, and in Greek. Then the chief priests of the Jews said to Pilate, "Do not write, the King of the Jews." But he said, "I am King of the Jews." Pilate replied, "What I have written, I have written, and it remains written." Then the soldiers, when they had crucified Jesus, took his outer clothes and made 4 parts, a part for each soldier, and also the tunic. But the tunic was seamless, woven in one piece, from the top throughout. So they said to one another, "Let us not tear it, but cast lots for it, to decide whose it will be." This was to fulfill the scripture, "They divided my outer clothing among them, and for my clothing they cast lots." So the soldiers did these things. But standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother's sister, Salome, Mary the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. So Jesus, seeing his mother and the disciple whom he loved, esteemed, standing near, said to his mother, "Dear woman, look, here is your son." Then he said to the disciple John, "Look, here is your mother. Protect and provide for her." From that hour, the disciple took her into his own home. After this, Jesus, knowing that all was now finished, said in fulfillment of the scripture, "I am thirsty." A jar full of sour wine was placed there. So they put a sponge soaked in the sour wine on a branch of hyssop and held it to his mouth. When Jesus had received the sour wine, he said, "It is finished." And he bowed his head and voluntarily gave up his spirit. The end. God bless you, and thank you for joining me today.